So my unpopular opinion this week. Alright, and we are live. We're live as fuck.
That's fun.
Huh?
Shout out to the frosted lemonade from Chick-fil-A.
This is my first time trying it.
Yeah, it's quite.
Super vanilla-y.
Well, it's vanilla ice cream and lemonade. That's quite fun.
It's alright.
And it was free, so it's even better.
Yeah, that's alright right there.
Right? It's okay.
That's alright. Yeah, but we are live. So this is actually Antisocial Commentary. We haven't had a podcast in probably some months now. Production team has not been doing too well. I don't know. Nah, we just ain't had no guests. So yeah, I guess we can try and start doing more podcast episodes. I mean, if you watch a table rant, you know who this fuck is.
What up? I'm sorry. Just in case you don't watch the
If you don't watch a table rant, go ahead and close out this because I don't like you and you don't deserve to breathe. So anyway, yeah. So this is our podcast. It's normally longer form, so we don't have to kind of jump to topic to topic really fast. But actually, today we're going to do a little different on the podcast. We're going to have one main thing to talk about, and that's I guess how we would improve the DC universe. However, I will be still doing an unpopular opinion, and it more than likely won't be about the DC universe. But you do have to put an unpopular opinion at the end, of course. So I mean, it's kind of like on brand. But this is actually pretty good. Chick-fil-A, y'all did pretty well.
Yeah, it's great.
We're giving Chick-fil-A free promo. Fun fact: I actually used to work at Chick-fil-A, and I hated every day about it.
And you would bring home free brownies like
it was not free. It was stolen.
Even better. And they were great too.
I used to steal their brownies, and I used to steal their chicken wraps. I stole a lot from Chick-fil-A, but I feel like they stole a lot more from me, like my time and my soul. Yeah. So.
And this was free because the Chick-fil-A line took forever. You know how Chick-fil-A is about their service. I feel like Chick-fil-A is the type of company that if you ask for it, they give you a kidney because that's how good their service is.
Yeah, they probably would.
You know?
I mean, when I worked there, you know, being the only black person that worked at that Chick-fil-A, I feel like I had to be super nice. And they always had me dressed up in the whack-ass cow outfit in the middle of Houston, Texas. This is actually really good.
I don't like lids.
I'm not supposed to be having straws either, apparently.
Well, I mean, I think straws are okay as long as they are they can. What's it called? Like, you know how bananas.
Biodegradable.
There you go. I don't know why I was about to say something completely different, but yeah, how banana peels.
Yeah, just kind of.
Apple cores and stuff.
Yeah, well, Chick-fil-A don't care about the environment. They don't care about the gays. They don't care about the transgenders.
They don't care about nothing important, but they will give you free shit.
They know you're gonna come back. It's fucking chicken. Yeah. But yeah, so what we're here for? We're here for the DC universe, how we can improve it. True story. We're actually both fans of the DC universe.
Yeah.
We have liked all the movies except for Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad was kind of trash. And I will agree. I like Justice League, however, I like Batman vs Superman, but I can see why people would dislike them, and that's what we're going to get into today. How we can improve those things on how to get people to like them.
Oh yeah.
I guess long story short, stop trying to be like Marvel. I guess that would probably be the best thing.
Absolutely, and I also think that they have a slight advantage because of the fact that mostly every character that DC has in their arsenal are popular.
Well, not even that they're popular. They actually own the rights to the characters. See, when I say stop being like Marvel, they're not being like Marvel in the sense like their movies are the same. Marvel started off with, let's face it, B-team players. Iron Man, B-team player. Not to say that these characters aren't big characters, and they're 100% big characters. Now Thor and Iron Man are probably A-team characters now.
Yeah.
However, before the MCU started, Iron Man, Thor, Captain America to a certain extent were all guys that are like, do I really care to see that movie or care about these characters? Because everybody knows that the Marvel big names are Spider-Man, Wolverine, well, X-Men. You know, so it's just that they kind of had to work with what they got, what they had, and they made it work. Now DC needs to stop trying to make obscure characters or storylines, if you will, important. Like, I'm just right off the top of my head. Why would you make a Justice League movie and have Steppenwolf as a main bad guy?
Yeah.
Like I'm a DC fan, and I had to. who the fuck? Okay, yeah, I know Steppenwolf. Okay, it's like why would you make Steppenwolf your main bad guy when you have guys like Lex Luthor, you have Darkseid, you have Brainiac, you have the Joker, you have all these big names that you could use as a villain, and even if you don't really necessarily see a guy like the Joker or the Riddler as the main bad guy for the whole Justice League, you could use those in essence because you have the right to those characters.
And not only that, but there's so many fantastic screenwriters out there that can take a character as I wouldn't say Joker is small, but in terms of scale, he's small, that can turn it into a problem that all 7 members or all 6 members of the league can have problems with.
I mean, yeah, look at Injustice storyline. Joker was able to spring some stuff. So, and that is not to say to use the Injustice storyline in your. I mean, they did to a certain extent in
Batman vs Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They had the Injustice Flash outfit on, so
yeah, which was especially the video game Injustice 2, that shit was great. I would use certain elements, so I would bring in like certain costume elements for the Flash.
Costumes are fun.
I would even do Brainiac. I think Brainiac, and I actually have a whole thing about Brainiac here when we get started in our like improvements. But I think Brainiac is, even though he's a Superman villain, I think Brainiac has gotten so popular and so big to where he could cross over into being a Justice League villain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
I even had in my little like movie slate list, I have Brainiac being the villain of Superman 3, and then him rolling over into one of the Justice League movies.
I smashed this. This was delicious.
I'm glad you like that. This is my first time having it. That shit is fire.
God damn. I'm gonna have to text me and tell her to bring some frosted lemonades home.
Just bring like 8 of them.
Yeah, this shit was amazing. So, shout out to Mia. She's not here currently. She went to happy hour.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, her cousin's birthday. Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Anyway, her cousin's birthday is today. I don't know if she actually went. It's a whole debacle. So when it comes to DC, it's just, how do you fuck it up? That's the question. It's just like, you have Batman, arguably the most popular superhero, if not him to be the most popular, Superman for sure.
I would say Batman's the most popular. Superman's the most important.
I would say,
in terms of like, maybe not to you or me, but like if we're looking at comic books as a whole and superheroes as a whole, Superman is like the guy, and then Batman is like, oh yeah, he's cool type thing. Yeah,
but Batman's definitely the coolest, but Superman's probably the most popular. Probably, I mean, because Superman is actually, there's actually like a term, like people be like, oh, don't be Superman when you're trying to lift something heavy or something like that. So I mean, it's like Google. Google has now become, instead of saying search it, even if you're on Bing, you're gonna say tell somebody to Google. Yeah. So Superman is like part of the lexicon now. So,
and Superman's logo is one of the most recognized logos.
I'm sure.
Next to like the McDonald's logo, Apple, Coke. So.
It's like, so you have, and I hate Superman honestly, but
really,
yeah, I hate.
I come to appreciate Superman.
I appreciate him, but it's just like,
get out.
There's no reason you should ever have. Superman should never have any issues. He's just super powerful. Now they did add in 1,000 different things that could be his weakness, but whatever. But
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You were finish your thought.
I mean, it's just honestly, it's hard for me to get why they.
Why you messed it up?
Like, why would, it's just the decisions they're making is like, I feel like they're trying too hard to do fan service.
Yeah.
You can't do fan service with comic book fans because one,
they're gonna get annoyed.
True, comic book fans are fickle. However, most of the people that are gonna go to the movies, most of the people that are gonna critique movies are not comic book fans, let's be real.
Yeah.
So, and for the last 10 years, they've been programmed to watch Marvel movies, so they're expecting to see a Marvel movie, even if they, like, I'm sure it's hard for a 7-year-old to know the difference between a DC movie and the difference between a Marvel movie. And shit, I'm 28 years old, and people don't understand that the X-Men franchise is a Fox property, and they're not part of the MCU, but they'll consider those MCU movies. It's like, no, those are totally different. Don't add those in.
Yeah.
So it's just
even
like,
the Dark Knight trilogy is completely separate, even though it's still the same company.
Yeah.
But I think that because in what year did Man of Steel come out?
2013.
I think that because in
No,
that
2013. 2013.
because I remember seeing it right after high school. But
because Dark Knight Rises came out 2012, and it had the trailer for that.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Cool. I think that because during that time they've recently hired like their own Kevin Feige. I think like back in January. But I think during that time there wasn't anybody to tell Zack Snyder no, and I think Zack Snyder is a fantastic filmmaker. I mean, if you look at things like 300 and even Watchmen, I think those movies are good.
300. I mean, I wouldn't just jump to fantastic filmmaking.
Well,
300 was cool.
Okay, well, I would say fantastic in terms of big scale cinematography. I mean, that's not his cinematography.
But it's like are the movies good? It's like
I think Watchmen's pretty good.
I like 300. That doesn't mean it's a good movie. I mean, I if someone tell me 300 was not a good movie, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, you got a point. But I just don't think that Zack Snyder necessarily should have had as much creative freedom.
I think that because when I saw Man of Steel, I'll be honest with you, at the time I had no idea about Superman. Like, obviously I knew who he was, but I couldn't tell you what his backstory was in that movie. And I was like, oh shit, his real name is Cal? Who would have known? Like, obviously now I know so much because from 2013 until now I've been reading nothing but comics. But I thought that movie was still good. I can understand now, especially now that I know a little bit more about the character, why people feel like that movie was kind of just meh. And also I can see why people really dislike Batman vs. Superman, a movie that I actually quite enjoy a lot.
Okay.
But I think the problem of how do you mess it up is like there was nobody to tell him no. Yeah. Because in Batman vs. Superman, the movie easily could have worked if you would have. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of things, but like the major things is why is Batman 50 years old?
Right. Like.
Why is Doomsday showing up, and why is he created out of the body of General Zod?
Like, how do you kill Superman the second movie in? Like, what the fuck?
Not only that, but in Batman vs. Superman, it said that like 2 years had passed by. So he's only been doing this for 2 years.
Let's be real. Like, and again, I'm gonna try and stop comparing it to Marvel, but it's kind of hard not to. If right now we're in a point in time, if it's like it's believable if Captain America dies in the next in the Infinity War sequel, we'll be like, okay, you know what? I believe that he died. Superman died in the second movie of your franchise. We're like, okay, he's coming back.
Right.
It's like it held no weight. Like it's kind of again to compare to Marvel. It's like in Infinity War, Black Panther, Spider-Man, the Guardians all died. It's like, but you guys already announced the movies for them. We know you're not gonna do a flashback movie. We know you're not gonna. We know that you're just gonna bring them back. Yeah. It's like. First off, Black Panther made $1 billion.
They weren't expecting that movie to be good. I know they weren't.
Yeah, well, I don't think they expected so many black people to show up. Jesus Christ.
Because I feel like black people rallied for that movie at like the last minute. Because before that, nobody was looking at Black Panther. And then I would say probably like December, January, people were like, I'm seeing the fuck out of that movie. And I'm like, where were y'all a year ago?
I mean, Black Panther is 100% a hood classic. Like, you got movies like Paid in Full. You got movies like Boys in the Hood. You got movies like Menace to Society, Juice. And then, you know, now we have Black Panther. Definitely a hood classic. If you argue me on that, I will fight you.
Classic.
It's a hood classic film.
Shout out to Black Panther.
Black Panther is an amazing movie.
You've watched it every day.
It does have its problems. I will not be one of those black people that just goes butt naked crazy and says that it was the perfect movie. But yeah, I love Black Panther.
Yeah. But also, but yeah, let's just jump into like how we would fix it.
Yeah, I think we got step one. Stop trying to be Marvel.
Well, that's step one. But
step two.
Step two is reboot. But I think when people hear the word reboot, they immediately assume that everything is going to change. You have to change new actors. That's not the case.
Necessarily, yeah.
Because I think the actors that they have.
I'm for real about to text me.
I like Ezra Miller as an actor. I don't think he's particularly cast properly as the Flash.
Get him out. Get him the fuck out of here.
I wouldn't necessarily recast him. I would just rebrand his characteristics as Barry Allen. And I think that Joss Whedon rewrote the Flash character to be that way. I don't think Zack Snyder originally had his character being like that. I can't believe that Zack Snyder would have him be that ridiculous. But anyway, I would say do like a soft reboot, retcon. And if you wanted to, you could do the whole Flashpoint thing. But I think the Flashpoint comic book in the storyline is so extreme that I don't think the regular moviegoer would follow it properly, because if you complain that Batman was killing in Batman vs Superman, you're really gonna lose your shit when you see Thomas Wayne using an actual gun shooting people. I mean, he literally shot. Spoiler alert if you have not read the comic. He literally shot Reverse Flash in the movie. Fucking head. Right, in the movie, in the head.
Actually, on the movie, it's a classic. It's a great film. It's a
fantastic film. And it's a good comic book too if you want to read something that's going to take up most of your life. But yeah, so I think that if you wanted to do like a poor man's Flashpoint, you could, and have Barry Allen in his solo film that's supposed to start filming in February. You can, I mean, whatever. If you could have him go back in time and you see some like news Flash stuff, but I think that's going to, because you already have Flash that people aren't particularly fans of, if you do a Flashpoint movie, you're going to lose an opportunity to rebrand your Flash.
My question is where did this soft-ass version of the Flash come from?
I have a feeling that character wasn't supposed to be like that.
I don't understand.
If he was, somebody needs to tell them no.
Well, they do the same thing on the TV show. That's why I cannot watch the Flash TV show.
I feel like the Flash on TV, when we first saw him on Arrow, his characterization was great. And in the first, I would say, season, maybe even season 2 of The Flash, I thought his characteristics was great. But then you started to make him and Iris West's relationship started to happen. You started making Iris West.
Let's not talk about the Flash TV show, because I'm going to get angry, because not only is that going to piss me off, freaking Arrow, how trash it got after season 2 is going to piss me off.
I mean, the second half of season 6 was okay.
Don't care.
But anyway, you have an opportunity to make the Flash better. But I wouldn't do the Flashpoint storyline just because you need to set up and establish a better version of your Flash. So
I agree.
I also think it's a little bit too soon for Reverse Flash, even though he is the Flash's villain.
Yeah.
But Flash doesn't really have a lot of strong villains. He's got maybe 2 that are really good, and that's Reverse Flash and that's Gorilla Grodd. In my DC universe, Gorilla Grodd would be my first villain, because I think that if you do Gorilla Grodd properly, he could easily be a really fantastic villain. I don't know how much you know about Gorilla Grodd, but also I would change the fuck out of his origin, because in this social justice politically correct, I would change the fuck out of that, because if you don't know about Gorilla Grodd, he comes from a society of gorillas who live in Africa, basically. And I would change that. So I would.
You see, they have to change Manape on Black Panther.
Yeah, they did. So I think if they do Gorilla Grodd, because you've already seen CGI apes before with King Kong and War for the Planet of the Apes. Like,
that's another thing. Oh my God, the CGI is just like, Suicide Squad CGI, Jesus Christ. I didn't think Steppenwolf was too horrible in Justice League, but a lot of people got upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, in the concept art that came out, he looked nothing like that.
I thought Cyborg looked pretty good. Also, people need to I feel like when DC, people just start complaining about DC, honestly, because did Superman's mouth look fucked up? I mean, yeah, kind of, but it shouldn't have taken you out of the movie, honestly. It did not, it was not that bad. It's like, it happened for like maybe 8 seconds of total screen time. Like, you just being nitpicky at this point.
There's so much other stuff.
Yeah, they could have been nitpicky about
Aquaman wearing pants in water. Who gives a fuck?
I actually think they're doing, so far, I haven't seen the movie yet, the trailer looked pretty cool. So far, they're doing a good job of making Aquaman cool. Yeah. Because, I mean, he's had a bad rap for years.
I'm a huge Aquaman fan, I'll be honest with you. Probably a few people in the world who are huge
Aquaman lifted a building.
That man is. If you don't believe me that Aquaman is good, just read the New 52 onto the current stuff.
So,
but yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I like the idea what they're doing with Aquaman, because it would make sense that he would have a culture.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
it would make sense for him to look like Jason Momoa and be all gross and creepy and rugged, and I haven't showered in 8 months look like.
Well, hopefully Atlanteans go out and droves to the movie theater so we can do $1 billion. But, I mean, okay, so if I had to do my step 2 as far as improving the DC universe, you have an open goal, man. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, each of them make a Man of Steel perfectly fine. Start off with Man of Steel, maybe not kill Zod, or I mean, like, honestly, I don't have a problem with him killing Zod, because what is the other course of action?
That's what I was thinking too. I literally saw someone on Twitter having an argument with someone who was like, he should have killed him, and someone was like, let me tell you why he should have and why it shouldn't matter, because he could not have done anything. You couldn't throw him in space, he's gonna come back.
Because
Superman didn't have the technology to put him in the
just became Superman
again.
like 20 minutes ago. He didn't know.
He didn't have a choice, because if you just threw Zod at the sun, he's just gonna get stronger.
Yeah.
Like, if you put him in the ground, he's just gonna scale. Like, he's gonna keep coming back, especially since it was clear in that movie that Zod was stronger than Superman was. He just outsmarted him, which Superman tends to do in most of the stuff that he does.
Well, here's the thing. When I say you have an open goal, I mean just shit. Make Batman movies over and over again if you have to. Print the money. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I think what I would do is, because like The Flash is supposed to start filming in February, and I think that Batman movies are supposed to start filming sometime in like May. In that movie, instead of like using the Flashpoint movie, I would just reboot it in the movie and tell people this has been rebooted. Go to the movies to see how. Instead of this universe starting off after Justice League and having to figure out like how Superman comes back, I would have the Batman movie start off after Man of Steel. So we see like a clearly younger Bruce Wayne in the car driving to the scene of Metropolis. Maybe he makes a speech about like, because it was revealed in Batman vs Superman that his building got knocked down. So of course, you know, in order to tie this together, it makes sense that he would go there. He would fund to get his building back up. Put a little bit of money in Metropolis' pocket, since it's clearly close by, and then maybe this Batman makes a comment about Superman, he looks, and the camera pans to Clark Kent, and he's just like, oh fuck, he knows who I am. Then you fast forward 3 years, and you're clearly still with a young Batman, so the audience knows like, oh, okay, we've just now rebooted the universe, but we didn't do like a huge hoopla about it, and now we can tell you fantastic Batman stories with the Batman who's like 35.
Well, all I know is, and that's just another thing when it comes to the filmmakers. A lot of people were confused, like, what the fuck? So Metropolis is right next to Gotham? Yes, in the comic book it is. Yeah. However, if you don't read the comic book, you don't know. It's like, you gotta stop assuming people know these things just because it's a comic book movie. Comic book nerds, maybe, if a movie theater has 100 people in it, maybe 25 of those people are probably comic book nerds. 10 of those people probably know everything about the comics. So it's just like, why are you... I was a business major in school, so you have to understand when it comes to business, it's more beneficial to sell to a larger market than it is to sell to a smaller market.
Oh yeah.
So if these frosted lemonades, they have dairy in it, am I going to go to a vegan and try and sell a frosted lemonade? No. However,
he told me, I don't know anything.
Yeah, probably. However, if vegans said frosted lemonades need to be removed, considering that vegans probably aren't even 1% of our population, I'm not going to stop selling frosted lemonades because vegans don't want them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you have to understand who you're selling to. Moviegoers are not comic book fans necessarily.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't do... You haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Refuse to. It looks stupid.
But literally at the very beginning of that movie, there was an FBI agent talking to Scott's daughter, and he literally does the most obvious exposition I've ever seen ever in the history of ever. And he basically tells his daughter, like, here's what happened in Civil War, here's what's happening currently, and here's what's happening, you know, last week. And he does like 5-minute exposition of why Scott Lang is in jail, where the Avengers are, where Captain America is, why this, and this. But that's something you don't want to do. If you're going to do exposition, do it to where you're actually showing the audience versus telling them. And, you know, you went to school to be a business. I'm currently going to school to be a writer. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to show and not tell us. So in this universe, if you want to do exposition, if you want to be like, okay, this universe is rebooted, then you show us that this universe is rebooted by giving us a young Batman, showing us that Superman's been doing this for 3 years. He's now gotten under the good graces of the world because they saw him kill somebody. This
Damn, what type of world are we living in when killing somebody? Yeah, we're in the good graces now. You killed a nigga.
And even the Flash. You know, we saw how lame he was in Justice League. And for people that are defending like the Flash is funny, the Flash is funny, but he's not that kind of funny.
He's cool funny.
Yeah.
He's like the guy that he's not geek funny. Geek funny is not a good word.
He's like dad joke funny.
Yeah, he's the guy that Flash, like, to me, I grew up on the Justice League TV show, so the Flash was like that cool guy that wasn't really cool, but at least he tried to be cool.
Yeah.
This Flash was, I'm not cool, I'm not trying to be cool, I'm hipster Flash, I probably have kale smoothies for breakfast.
Yeah.
It's just like this guy's a fuck, and just because you like, I mean that's the best way. Like, God, you're a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, to be fair, that was a different Flash on the TV show.
Yeah, it's Wally in the
yeah.
TV
I think
show.
this particular Barry Allen, they were trying to go, we want to take the quirkiness of Wally, we want to take the quirkiness of Impulse, and we want to take the coolness of Flash and put it into one body, and it's like, don't do that.
Except there was no coolness.
Right, except for
like
that.
That Flash would have got bullied at my school. And
and this Flash, also, I feel like every member, with the exception of maybe Cyborg, every member should, I mean, Wonder Woman, she doesn't count, but like every member should roughly be the same age.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Literally, like, this Barry Allen is literally the same age as you. He's 28 or 26.
I thought he was younger than that.
He's like between the ages of like 26 and 28.
I thought he was like 20.
That's what I always did too, but if you, I mean, on Wikipedia it says like he was born in like 91 or something.
Trash. So it's if we're doing reboots, I think Wonder Woman should probably stay. Wonder Woman, that movie and storyline should probably stay because it was perfect.
Well, not only that, but it took place in a different time period, which is kind of a blessing in disguise for... Literally, all DC has to do is go, because these three movies are kind of connected, BVS, Suicide Squad, Justice League are now considered Elseworld stories. This universe will pick up Man of Steel, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, everything after that.
Suicide Squad didn't happen. It's not an Elseworld story. It's not a rebooted title. It is not a thing.
Now, I will say this, though. If we're talking about Suicide Squad, the movie is clearly getting a sequel.
Oh.
Now, let me tell you why, on my slate of movies that I came up with, that the Squad movie is still happening. So, I came across this rumor. So, remember how the rumor was Black Adam was supposed to appear in that movie?
No.
You remember hearing that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what kind of makes me think this rumor was slightly true, because in the rumor that I read, the Squad was supposed to go after a high-powered weapon that Amanda Waller wanted, and that was going to be Black Adam. But then, the rumor that I read was there was multiple options. It was Black Adam, Amazo, Zatanna, or Supergirl.
All better options than fucking...
Black Adam. So let me...
No, I'm saying better than what we got.
Right, well, yeah.
Fucking trash.
But then I was like, I'm wondering if this rumor is slightly true because they just announced a Supergirl movie. Now, a lot of people are like, that's them threatening Henry Cavill because Henry Cavill's managers want more money for him, but that's a different story. But I'm thinking, well, Black Adam wouldn't be captured because he's magic and he's strong as fuck and he lives in a different continent, so like, how would you get him? Amazo, like replicates the powers of everyone around him. There's no power on the team. Unless you put like 3 or 4 people that have power on the team, and that.
I mean, well, still, they had Diablo and.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like that would just be boring.
Yeah.
Zatanna is also magic.
And Suicide Squad was boring.
Right. So. But I'm saying, like, you have an opportunity to at least make it semi-interesting. Then you have Zatanna, who operates not only with magic, but she's also can morph herself into a different dimension, so she wouldn't be captured. But then you have Supergirl, which would make sense because if she crash landed the same way that Superman did, maybe she got captured by Cadmus. The Russians. Maybe she got Russians. Maybe because I mean, like, Star Labs is like a good laboratory, and Cadmus is like not. Right. So like Cadmus could easily have captured her, and you know, have you seen? Experiments. If you remember the first like couple episodes of Young Justice. When they went to Cadmus to get Superboy, I would pretty much use that same plot, but give it to the Squad and have it be Supergirl instead of Superboy. And so that way the Squad has a reason to go into this high-powered Cadmus thing. They have an opportunity to get Supergirl, which introduces her to the universe. And, you know, you get to see the Squad, like, infiltrate Cadmus, and maybe they have to fight other things. And you can have an opportunity, too, to put stronger, a little bit more capable people in the Squad, like Killer Frost, or if you wanted to, Black Manta's been on the team. Deathstroke's been on the team.
I'm not gonna lie, that whole thing sounds trash.
I mean,
it sounds like a trash-ass thing to go watch.
It does, but here's the thing, though. Since they're adamant on doing that, and you want to do a DC Extended Universe, that's a good way to do that. Yeah, I'm skipping it. Whatever Suicide Squad they come out with, I don't care if they say Leonardo DiCaprio, who is my favorite actor, and Denzel Washington, who is my second favorite actor, are in the movie. I am not going to see it. Y'all fucked up Suicide Squad. First off, when Suicide Squad first came
like first got announced, I was like, okay, that's dumb. I mean, we don't know these characters in the sense of we don't know them. We don't know their movie. We don't know them in this.
Not only that, we don't know why they're in Bell Rev. Like, what did you do that's that bad?
Let us pretend we don't know these characters as if we never read the comic book. We don't know. If I was just going to a movie and was told this is a comic book movie, care about these characters, I'd be like, why? Why should I care? I do not know who they are. However, they are important. Why would you? And why would you lead off your third movie in? Full of bad guys who apparently have been beefing with people that we have not yet even seen in the movies. Flash is one of them. We have not seen a Flash character yet. Why are we caring about these characters? And so when they announced that, I was like, that's dumb. But then I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, that looks promising. Then I saw the movie, I was like,
nope.
That was terrible.
You and I saw the movie together, and literally when the credits came up, Chris looked at me and he said, nope. That's the first thing that came out of your mouth afterwards. You were like, nope.
That was not it. It was boring. It was dumb. It was a waste of the Joker. Also, I thought Tattoo Joker would be cool. Thought Jared Leto might be able to pull it off. Nope.
Man, they really missed the opportunity to make Jake Gyllenhaal a Joker.
They missed out. Well, it's not the character. I don't blame Jared Leto. It's what the information they gave him. I mean, it's like I'm not mad at him necessarily. I'm mad at the people that wrote this trash.
Yeah, but I mean, there was. I'm not trying to like play devil's advocate or anything, but there was a lot of, David Ayer only had like an hour to write the script.
I know they took a lot of stuff out, but it was just like, oh my god, this is
But
terrible.
like I said, because that movie made a lot of money, it was incredibly popular in terms of there were so many. That's why she's getting her own film, which I don't particularly want to see a Birds of Prey movie that she's in, but I think that if it's only got like a $70 million budget. If you put it out at the very beginning of the year in Valentine's Day, and you just be like, this is a girls' night out.
Get girls to go see it.
Because women, let me tell you. Excuse me. Women love going to the movies to see themselves.
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey. Say what you want about those movies. They made a shit ton of money.
Trash.
Even Girls' Night came out. Twilight made a lot of money. Girls Trip made a lot of money. Especially since you have Harley Quinn, who's already popular, and you bring in some other DC characters. But I'm saying if you put that movie at the very beginning of the year, and you just say this is a girls' night out, it's movies rated R, so it's gonna be a little bit more risky. It's
trash.
And you have your Birds of Prey be as diverse as possible. If you have it be a diverse film with a girls' night out, it's rated R, it's a little bit sexy. If the movie comes out, the movie's only got $70 million to make it. It can easily make roughly $200 million. Now, if it makes more than that, that's an achievement. But $200 million to $300 million is a good bracket for that movie to make. You put it out at the beginning of the year, people will have fun with it. Hoes will dress up as Black Canary and Harley Quinn. You put that out, and then you have Flash come out later on that year, and then you have Batman at the end of the year.
Hashtag skipping two of those three.
Not even the Flash.
Because of what we have currently, the Flash, I do not want to see. Not necessarily. I don't know. Probably Ezra Miller. I don't know if it's him as a person. I don't know him too well, or if the way they wrote him in Justice League. But I do not want to see a Flash movie. And I won't go to see a Flash movie. My money is important to me, and I don't want to waste it on a Suicide Squad 2. I'm not going to waste it on a Birds of Prey movie that y'all are not going to write well, and I'm not going to waste it on the Flash. I just will not do it.
Let's hope T-Mobile Tuesday gives us
literally, I should have known Suicide Squad was going to be hot garbage, because normally T-Mobile Tuesday will give you a $5 ticket. We had Suicide Squad for free.
Yeah, we did.
So it's just, when it comes to the DC universe, when I say they have an open goal, you have Superman, you have Batman, you have Wonder Woman, you even have guys like Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter. All these characters that have such rich stories, why are you trying to rush it?
Yeah. Also, I think
Jesus Christ.
What I would do is, I would let Margot Robbie's Birds of Prey movie come out. That's fine. Do what you want to do. The character's popular. Margot Robbie's career is booming. Just let it happen. Give you a small budget, whatever. And then I would go from 2020 until 2021. I don't want any sequels. I don't want any spin-offs. Just give me nothing but solo films rebuilding our universe. So I would do Flash, I would do Batman, I would give us a proper Man of Steel sequel, I would give us a Green Lantern movie, and then once you establish that, then you go into, and I'm looking at my list here, then you go into 2022, because let's be honest, Wonder Woman 2 will make money, so you want to give that a third movie. You can put that in 2022. Aquaman will probably make a lot of money, they're going to see that again. You put that in 2022. And then by the time those movies have come out, because you have Aquaman coming out this year, you have Shazam in 1984 coming, and you have those 3 films coming.
Wait, 1984, that's the...
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So you have those, 6 to 9 movies that are 6 or so movies in terms of my 6 that I added for my universe. And then in 2022, you give us a proper Justice League where they fight the Legion of Doom, not a CGI villain, but the actual Legion of Doom. And by the time we get to the Justice League movie where they do the Legion of Doom, you're going to already have met at least all of them, minus maybe one of those villains.
Yeah.
Because you have Lex Luthor, you've got Deathstroke, who you're going to meet in the Batman movie. And at least I would put him in that movie. Sinestro, you're going to meet in Green Lantern. Cheetah, you're about to meet in Wonder Woman. Black Adam, you're going to at least see a glimpse, I'm sure, in Shazam. Or he can be introduced in that movie. I'm missing someone. You can even do Joker if you want. You could bring in Reverse Flash, or you can do Gorilla Grodd. I think Gorilla Grodd would make a better... I think, like I said, I think Reverse Flash has I think it's too soon for him, but it's not too soon for Gorilla Grodd. Plus, you want to add some coolness to the movie, so you put in a fucking King Kong, basically, and then you just, I mean, Gorilla Grodd has mind totally powers. I really like that character a lot, so that's why I'm kind of pushing for him. But yeah, so if you do that, and then in 2023 you give us a Batman sequel, and then you can maybe do another spin-off, but not a Harley Quinn, not a Cyborg, no offense, and everybody wants to see Cyborg, but I just don't think he can hold a trilogy, because you know with these comic movies, you give one movie, you gotta give them 3. I would do someone like Martian Manhunter or Green Arrow, and the director that I would pick, because I'm like, sorry Ben, you're a fantastic Batman, but you're too old, I would give him Green Arrow to direct. And he would make, I mean, think about Argo, The Town, Gone Baby Gone, Live by Night, movies like that, lower scale, but still really fantastic, and you do that with Green Arrow and Black Canary, Ben Affleck can knock that out of the park.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. So, now I guess part 2 of redoing the before I forget, don't make new guys, please don't. I won't say you guys. Shout out to Wu-Tang. Don't do it. Just don't make, no, there's no argument. There's no, don't do it. Just no. Period. No. In the discussion. It's gonna be garbage. Don't do it. It's a bad idea.
Do you think it's a bad idea just because those characters are not really known, or is it just a really complicated story?
It's a combination of the both. It's like, why do I care? Like, why? It's like, people don't care. In general, as humans, we don't care about a lot of things. You have to make us care. Until we start to care, it's just, and shout out to Ava doing it, because I think she deserves everything she gets, because she's an amazing filmmaker. Maybe not necessarily work on time, but
she didn't write that movie, so technically.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah, so, you know, fingers crossed. We hope you're not a one-trick pony. But you did have Selma, you did have the 13th, so.
She was supposed to be Black Panther.
Yeah, well, Ryan Coogler he's 3 for 3, so.
That's true. Shout out to Ryan.
Looks like he might be going 4 for 4 with Creed 2. No, but I think Ryan Coogler is, I think he has like not a producer role. He might be producer, but what is it called? Consultant.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he's doing. But
yeah. Okay, so also in terms of spin-off films, right? And maybe like, as you would say, like B-list characters, C-list characters. So I'm going to tell you what's been rumored, and you can tell me what you would do and what you wouldn't do.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with Cyborg. Would you do it, would you not do it?
Would I do a Cyborg movie?
I say no. I would put him in everybody else's movie, but I just don't think he can hold. I think he can do one really strong movie, and then after that, he's a computer virus. He's a computer, so he's gonna get a virus. Yeah. And that's Grid. That's one movie, a good movie, and then after that.
To me, I think Cyborg might be similar to Black Widow in the sense that she don't need a movie. But she's in every other movie.
And she's good.
Yeah. Really, we don't need a Black Widow movie. Marvel, just don't fall to fan pressure. We don't need it. No. We don't. And that's not to be sexist, because she's a woman. I just think the character itself, because Hawkeye don't need a movie either. No. And I definitely wasn't pushing for an Ant-Man movie, but we got it. But yes.
Hell, if you guys can give us Ant-Man, we can easily get Green Arrow. Come on now.
Yeah. I don't think I would do a Cyborg movie. However, I would think I would make him like at least some type of you know, kind of like Black Widow. Like she pops up every once in a while, like in multiple different movies. So yeah, Cyborg. Let's be real. He's not a guy that has been on his own at all. Really,
no,
he's always with the Teen Titans or he's with the Justice League. So it's just it's like, why would you make a guy that it doesn't really have a fan base for him by himself? It's like. I don't think I would just necessarily go with a Cyborg movie.
I see a lot of people being like, "Oh, it's the whole like disabled thing," and I'm like, "That's cool." And it's
Is he really disabled? I mean, honestly, he kind of got an upgrade in life.
That's true. But then it's like the whole like African American thing. But I'm like, here's the thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, DC doesn't have a Black Panther, but they do have a collection of very popular and very strong, capable African American characters. So I feel like. My phone just turned on. I feel like if you wanted to give us the whole like African American thing, push Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
Martian Manhunter is not technically black, but I would make him black.
Yeah.
Cyborg. So, in conclusion of Cyborg, and then move on to a different person. Cyborg works better with a team.
Yeah, Cyborg does work better with a team. And like I said, he has never been by himself. So why push it now? Honestly. But I don't know. This whole podcast is kind of pointless because it's not like DC's going to actually watch this, and if they do watch it, they're not going to change. It's just.
But hello, if you just so happen to stumble upon this,
it's just DC's. I feel like they try too hard with fan service, and that's cool, and we appreciate it, like the little nods and stuff. But it's just.
Just tell a story. Just tell a good story.
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest with you, Man of Steel had a good story. Batman vs Superman had a good story. Even Wonder Woman had a good story. And you guys, I think, after that, it seemed like you were trying to work. But at least it seems, right now, it seems like things are starting to get better.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, I mean, Aquaman looks strong. And Shazam surprisingly looks pretty strong too.
Yes, Shazam looks like it's gonna be good.
There's obviously Wonder Woman 1984 is still filming and won't be done for probably another couple months. Mm-hmm. Even from like just the leaked set photos and actual photos and set videos that have been leaked, because it's filming just around the corner. Mm-hmm. Not in Houston, obviously, but in the States as of right now. But even that looks pretty strong too. Mm-hmm. I still have a theory about Steve Trevor, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But going back to the spin-off films, there's a couple of spin-off films that they announced where I'm like, I know for a fact that that's not getting made. Like Lobo, that's definitely not going to get made. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Deadshot, that was announced a long time ago. That's not getting made. Let's be honest. Need to be. Now here are the spin-off films that I think, since these are the ones that have been announced, that I think could work, even though it doesn't need to be made. And that's Deathstroke.
Doesn't need to be made.
And the reason why I say it doesn't.
They're only making it to be like Deadpool. Look at you.
Well, no, but I'm saying I think the only reason why I'm slightly okay with Deathstroke is because we've seen so many assassin, spy, bounty hunter type movies that Deathstroke could just be that, but a little bit more like higher scale because it's a comic book. And Black Adam. And I can't believe I'm saying that because like Black Adam definitely does not need his own film, but if you have someone like Dwayne Johnson who
they just want to market, they just want to use a lot.
Who's proven to like bring in a shit ton of money. I mean, you haven't seen Jumanji, but I've seen it. And that movie made almost $1 billion number one. And to be quite honest with you, it was actually pretty decent. Like it's not like a game changer, but I was like laughing the whole time, and I was like, wait a minute, you know what? That was okay. Other than that, like. The Nightwing movie has been like it's been not considered confirmed, but it's kind of been confirmed that it's not really going to happen right now.
Yeah, doesn't that also something that doesn't need to be made right now? It could be made in the future, but it's just like you haven't made a Robin yet. Like I don't care about someone like you want me to care about Nightwing. The only way I'm gonna care about Nightwing is if I know that he's already been Robin, and
or at least a partner of Batman.
Exactly, and it's just like. And again, I know that, you know that, but someone that doesn't know the comics may not know that. And you have to be able to build characters, and DC has yet to do that.
Yeah.
They like I said, Man of Steel was a good start because you made Superman. You explained who he was.
Yeah.
Much people probably complained about it, like, oh, we know who Superman is. There's people that don't. There's kids that don't.
I definitely didn't know.
So it's just you built Superman. The smartest thing to do would be to build Batman, but no, you instantly made him have a beef with Superman, and you threw in Wonder Woman, you threw in Doomsday and Lex Luthor. It's just you threw too much all at once, and without building these characters. Like, I don't know who this Batman is, as far as freaking the dude who plays Batman. Ben Affleck. I kept wanting to say Ben Stiller. I was like, I'm 100% not right. Ben Affleck. I just had a brain fart.
Pretty sure his birthday was yesterday or today, so shout out to him.
Cool. Oh, and I guess since we're on the topic of birthdays, I guess we have to say rest in peace, Aretha Franklin.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
It's also Angela Bassett and Madonna's birthday. They're both 60, and so rest in peace to them. I mean,
no.
Rest in peace to Aretha Franklin. Happy birthday to them.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
But yeah, so
one of them clearly looks 60, and one of them does not.
Yeah, right. One looks Anyway, Black don't crack. Anyway, like, we don't know who this Ben Affleck's Batman is. We don't know what his motivations are, except for the fact that he's Batman and he's mad at Superman.
Yeah. And the crazy part about that is too because, you know, you and I both have a pretty large knowledge of Batman, and so if we're going based on what we know, if this Batman is 40 to 50 years old, he's already had at least 3 solid Robins. He's got Dick, he's had Jason. Jason's already been dead, probably resurrected at this point. Tim Drake's out here, and it's probably, let's be honest, Damian Wayne probably at least exists because in the comics currently he's 13. He's easy for him to be a 13-year-old kid in this universe.
Yeah, considering that Batman is like 50.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy for you to have. So at this point, you've already passed over major storylines. He's probably already fought the Joker.
Clearly, he's already fought the Joker. Joker was in jail.
Hell, he probably fought Bane. We didn't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's 20 years worth of Batman stories that we missed out on, which is why in the current rumors that Matt Reeves is doing, it's saying that this is supposed to be a 15 years in the past thing, which I think is great because it gives you an excuse to recast someone younger. And I think Ben Affleck's great. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of Ben Affleck. He can do whatever he wants in his personal life, but on screen and making movies.
I don't have a problem with his personal life.
Right, but on screen in his movies he makes good films. I mean he's a solid filmmaker, but it also gives you an opportunity to be like, same thing with Wonder Woman. When we saw her in BVS, we were like, okay, you've been away for how many years, and what if the fuck you've been doing this whole time?
Yeah, right.
And then we see Wonder Woman, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you were going to see 1984, and we're like, okay, cool, you're fighting more stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that because 2018 they really missed an opportunity to have a movie come out this year, and if they really wanted to, this year would have been the year to put it out.
Aquaman.
Well, I'm saying, but they missed an opportunity to have something come out in the summer, especially since the summer movies have been lame.
Something
except for like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And I think people were expecting Ant-Man and the Wasp to be a huge hit because it was the first time I was seeing the Wasp. The movie flopped. I mean, 300. I think it made like 300 to 400 million. That's still a lot of money, but in the standards of that's considered a flop. You could have easily put, because that movie came out the beginning of July. You could have easily had maybe the week after that or the week before, whatever. You could have easily have had a solo Flash movie, or Batman,
there you go,
or just anything really. But I'm saying, like, if you were to do the Flash, that could have been, you easily could have used that to reboot the universe, and then Aquaman would be the beginning of that. But I'm saying they really missed an opportunity. But it's kind of a blessing in disguise because, as you can see, they've hired Walter Hamada, who is their Kevin Feige basically. They've hired a second in command. I'm not sure what her name is. I want to say her name is Michelle, but I'm probably making that up.
As long as it's not the girl from Star Wars, I'm good.
No, fuck that lady. She needs to be fired today. But anyway, they hired him. They hired the second in command, which is a woman, which is perfect. They're both Asian, so shout out to that. But they're just basically cleaning house. And by the way, this whole James Gunn situation, there's been
has nothing to do with
no, but listen, there's been so many blogs who are like, now that James Gunn doesn't work for Marvel, he can come to DC. Literally, no. DC won't hire him, first of all, but just like stop pushing the narrative. But
also, what he did was really that bad? Like,
I mean,
let him be.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a fan of the Guardians movies except for the first one. So
yeah, the second one was trash.
Anyway, but what I was saying is from because 2019 we're only getting I think two movies unless something randomly pops up, which I doubt. I would say from 2020 to 2024, so the next 4 years, do at least 3 movies.
Okay.
Because Warner Brothers has the money to afford that. It's not like they're poor.
Apparently.
They also
got that AT&T money.
They just got that AT&T money, which they can clearly afford it.
Yeah.
But you can do, like I said, just give me like 2 years of solid, basic to the point movies, no team ups, no spin-offs,
no obscure titles.
No, yeah, like I mean, like I said,
Suicide Squad, New Guys, none of that shit needs to be made.
Literally on my list, I have 2020 because it's already being made, and you can't cancel it because they've already spent money on it. But Birds of Prey, put that at the beginning of the year. Flash in the summer, Batman in like the fall. That's a perfect opportunity.
I probably would switch. Flash doesn't need to be a summer movie due to the fact that people aren't going to go see it in the summertime when there's better things you can go see. Okay. I think I would move that to the fall because it's like, damn, we don't got nothing else to go see. That's why I think Aquaman is going to do really well because there's nothing to go against.
People are like, oh, Mary Poppins is going to destroy that movie. No, the fuck it won't.
It might.
You think so?
It's Disney, and it might. It's Mary Poppins. I mean, let's not act like Mary Poppins is not a big name. So.
Are you gonna go see Mary Poppins before you see Aquaman? Or at all?
No, I'm not gonna see Mary. I hated the original. Probably not. Maybe I don't see Transformers. Is just like
I like both.
I've invested myself in these Transformers movies.
Let me put it like this: since all the movies are coming out the same day, I'm gonna see Aquaman on Friday.
Okay.
Transformers on Saturday,
okay.
And Mary Poppins on Sunday, and then repeat the process.
I
usually like to see movies at least twice.
I'm not going to see Mary Poppins. I hate the original. I hate musicals, so.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so in 2021 I had, only reason why I'm doing this is because A, the first movie, Suicide Squad, made a lot of money, and 2, you have an opportunity to
and 2?
You have an opportunity to bring in Supergirl, and since they already want to do it, at least this makes more sense. And then I also have Green Lantern and Man of Steel coming out that year. 2022, finally that's when you can start giving me my sequels, because at that point you've already had those 6 movies plus the 2 that we're getting next year, plus Aquaman, so that's already a decent universe. So in 2022 I have Wonder Woman 3, Aquaman 2, and then maybe if all those movies end up being solid, a proper Justice League versus Legion of Doom movie. And then 2023, you can give me the Batman sequel, maybe another spinoff, which would be like Green Arrow, and then maybe you could do your Supergirl movie, since we've already introduced her, or you can do like The Flash if it ends up being good. 2024, finish Superman sequel, trilogy. Then maybe if you did Supergirl before, then you do Flash next. And then you can either do, I know you don't want it, but you can either do Deathstroke or New Gods, because by then people will go see it.
Maybe.
Or if you don't want to do any of those, then you can give me Martian Manhunter, and you can spend proper money on Martian Manhunter at that point because now you've created all this money.
I mean, that's fine. It's just we're not gonna get it, so it is what it is. DC seems to be like, hey, we hear what you're saying. We know that we have only one of our movies was critically accepted.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try and do something different and not do what y'all want. We're gonna keep doing whatever the hell we want.
But here's why I think that this movie universe, I mean, because you can't get any worse than what we've already gotten, and I don't think that what we've gotten.
It can't get worse. Trust me.
we can do some X-Men Apocalypse type stuff. But I think that's really pushing it. But the reason why I still have tremendous faith is because, one, I'm a huge fan of these characters. Period. But I also think that the dude that they hired comes from a franchise that, like the horror franchise that Warner Brothers has. I don't know if you're like into that like the movie stuff, but like Warner Brothers has a huge popular slate of horror films. They have like Insidious. Those movies are. I think the most recent Insidious probably made like $1 billion. I think.
They had that Nun movie coming out. That shit looks scary as fuck.
And fuck all of you who are like, take that ad off YouTube down. That's like the best marketing that someone can have.
Which one?
So they've taken it down, but on YouTube, if you're like, you know how YouTube has a plethora of ads.
Yeah.
There's like an ad where there's like the volume going down, and all of a sudden it's just the Nun. Remember the ghost car way back when, where like the car was traveling through the town, and then a ghost and the ghost face pops up? It's basically that.
I haven't seen that.
I'm
glad I haven't. I've probably been pissed the fuck off.
I mean, Yeah, Google it. I mean, you could do it.
I'll look it up.
But yeah, people were complaining that like it was too scary, and I'm like, it's a movie about scariness, so why wouldn't like? It's fantastic marketing for that movie. So fuck y'all for wanting to change your own shit.
If I'm watching a video about, I don't know, the twerk team and the nun thing pops up, I'm gonna be pissed off.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Just be careful because it is kind of like a jump scare.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fucked up.
So yeah.
Back. Yeah, if I was watching that at night, that would have fucked me up, and I would have sued the fuck out of that.
But I mean, but this is also a different time period. But way back, I was like in like 5th grade when Ghost Car was a thing. Yeah. But like, people didn't complain about that. But like I said, it's a different time period.
They definitely did. We should have the internet as social media at that point.
Well, anyway, but Warner Brothers has the Insidious. They have the Nun. They have Annabelle Creation, which the dude who did that movie is doing Shazam. That movie made a lot of money. It was also decent from what I heard. I don't watch scary movies except for It, which is also Warner Brothers. That movie made $800 million, and that was a fantastic movie. I went to the theater to see it, and that's how like. But anyway, this Warner Brothers has a good horror team, and the dude horror team, and the guy who is in charge of DC was not necessarily in charge of that horror team, but he was a part of that. So at least he's got some smarts, and he's not just some regular old white guy off the street. So there's that, which helps. But yeah, and then I have a list of Justice League movies. Because I think that because it is Justice League, and if they're done properly, you don't need to just do 3. Kind of like with the Avengers, we've gotten we're about to have 4 and maybe 5. We'll see what happens.
We have 4. Yeah, we have 4.
So I have my 4 Justice League movies, which would be the first one. I don't count Steppenwolf because my universe has been rebooted.
Jesus Christ.
But I have them fighting the Legion of Doom.
Or at least Darkseid. Come on, the goal is wide. Oh,
well, I'll get there because I think it's too early for Darkseid. But because you gotta figure it out. But
Thanos is out.
Well, I would not wait 10 years for Thanos. I mean, for Darkseid, I would wait about 2 movies, which is probably about 2 or 3 years, and then you do Darkseid. But my first Justice League movie would be Legion of Doom, because you can save money on the budget because you're using practical effects.
Yeah.
Minus like if you do.
But they won't because DC. I mean, DC it seems to enjoy.
And also, some of the things I've also learned is that it's not really DC that's fucking up; it's Warner Brothers that's fucking up.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely because
Warner Brothers.
They're telling them what they want.
Yeah, Warner Brothers really cut up Justice League because Justice League originally was supposed to be like 3 hours.
Well, I mean that is helpful. Nobody wants a 3-hour movie. Nobody wants.
I mean, but you think about this. Everyone's like, I don't want to sit through a 3-hour Justice League movie, but I'm like, all right. Say what you want about the quality of these movies, and I'm about to say these movies have all made a shit ton, and they're long. King Kong, Titanic, Avatar.
No. Yeah, well, Titanic, okay, but
but no, I'm not saying that these are like high quality films.
You just named Titanic the highest grossing movie of all time, which also was
different time period.
No, I was gonna say it was a historical piece, which historical pieces are historically long. And then you chose Avatar, the highest grossing film of all time, which was visually stunning, very overrated. Trash movie, great, looked amazing. But you have both directed by James Cameron.
Oh, you're right.
They built a cachet, and they did word of mouth as far as Avatar went. If people was like, hey, this is a really cool movie. Like, so Avatar had a long tail going on for him.
But what I'm saying is that
no, don't say King Kong. That movie was fucking trash.
Also, The Lord of the Rings. Those movies are long as fuck.
Also, that was from a book, huh?
You never watched
that? I watched the original trilogy. They all suck. The last one was okay. They're all boring as fuck. There's some boring ass movies.
Okay, say what you want about King Kong. That's my favorite movie, but The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah,
come on, bro. You're
especially the first one.
You broke my little soul.
Fucking trash.
But the point is that
horrible,
back to my Justice League. But but what I'm saying is back to the movies being long. People will sit through a longer movie.
They will, but we don't.
Especially if it's like a Justice League.
If we can avoid a 3-hour movie, we should.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we kind of just thrown a bunch of different ideas out, but we have one. What was the first thing? stop trying to be Marvel.
Yeah, so stop trying to be Marvel. Stop.
Well, actually, I don't think stop trying to be Marvel is a good one. I think stop trying to chase Marvel.
Right.
Because you can't. It's just like, first off, Disney. You're not going to catch them. Second off, they've built for 10 years.
Yeah.
And thirdly, you came out the gate too soft.
Yeah. You guys also have like we said, you guys have a bigger, and yeah, those characters right now are more popular because of the movies. Mm-hmm. But you guys still have the greatest, not just superheroes, but fictional characters that exist.
And so that's the problem. That's why they jumping after Marvel. Not to cut you off. They jumping after Marvel. They like, oh shit, we gotta catch the Marvel. Batman vs Superman. That's what we gotta do. Batman and Superman, our two biggest names. Put them together. Well, I mean, then throw Wonder Woman in there, and then throw Superman dying in there. Then have Lex Luthor. It's like, come on, you're doing too much.
What should have happened?
Batman movie.
What should have happened is
Batman movie.
Because I know that Man of Steel was like, okay, Green Lantern literally came out 2 years ago. That movie was trash.
Yeah.
Let's just do another DC property, and if it ends up being good, then we'll start. So yeah, I can see why Man of Steel came out and nothing else was around it. But when Man of Steel came out and it made like 600 mil and it was like, oh okay, it was alright. Then literally in 2014 or even 2015, it should have been Batman at the very beginning.
Or Wonder Woman.
No, it should have been Batman and then Wonder Woman.
Like those, like.
And then you could have had your Man of Steel, your Batman, your Wonder Woman, and the next year you give us your Aquaman, you give us Flash, you give us Green Lantern, and then you do a proper Justice League film, and then afterwards, then you can start doing your sequels. But obviously we don't have that. But what I was mentioning earlier was my Justice League movie. So you do Legion of Doom. I would introduce Brainiac in Superman 3, and then move into a Justice League movie because I think that he's big enough to hold his own movie with them. I would have this is not a solo film, but I would have the Justice League fight the new guys. You can treat it like the Batman Superman Apocalypse animated movie where they fought the Furies. Granted, Wonder Woman can handle them by herself, but like just something like that. You can bring in Steppenwolf and Calibac and Desaad and all those guys. And then the fourth final Justice League movie, or at least in my little collection, is a proper Darkseid, which you know, Darkseid is. It's funny that I say that because that's the whole thing of the comics right now. Darkseid is, but Darkseid is a really strong, capable character where he doesn't need a supporting cast around him. He doesn't even need like his goons to be there. Like he can just stand there and look at you and you're done. So so yeah. But anyway, and then you can have like a really cool like at the end of the Justice League Unlimited animation, Superman like cut loose with Darkseid at the end of that TV show, and it was fantastic. Because you can have that, and because we can't do the Death of Superman again. You can still see Superman get his ass whooped and then rally, but like you can't do that again, which sucks because Superman dying. What I would have done if I was in charge, it would have been your Man of Steel 2, Justice League, Man of Steel 3, and then when they fight Brainiac in the second Justice League movie, he would have died then. So when they have to fight the new guys in Darkseid, he's not around and they're struggling. And I would have had him been dead for one full movie and not like an hour and a half.
Yeah, like we knew he was coming back. It's just,
but it's obviously it's coming back as the whole comic storyline. But like in terms of that particular movie, just no.
Well, see, that's the thing, y'all. They were chasing after fan service, which it's just not gonna work. And the reason why the Death of Superman worked because up until that point, you didn't kill superheroes. I mean, granted, we now have the death of Wolverine, the death of Batman, the death of Captain America. Robin has died. Like it just. I mean, I think Robin dying might have been the first, but like the biggest one was Superman. And up until that point, you didn't see people die. But now we know that y'all are going to find a way to make it come back, some type of MacGuffin to make him come back. It's just like it holds no weight. So yeah, the title and the storyline is a big storyline, which makes it perfect for an animated movie because the animated movies aren't a universe.
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Well, I mean, they basically with this DC does really well with the animated movies. They just basically are adapting comic books. They're not making like and DC and Marvel do this when it comes to the comics. They use the comics as inspiration, but they don't actually follow them to a T. The animated movies more do so. I mean, they add and subtract from them because it is the movie, but they are adapting a comic.
Right.
So the death of Superman storyline would be good for animation, but it didn't translate to the film. I mean, to screen, to live action because it wasn't a.
It wasn't established.
It was.
Plus, you're dealing with. Even though Superman's not a human being, but he's being played by a human being, so there's human being emotions, and you're emotionally attached to certain things and certain people. Yeah. So that's why he doesn't carry away. So it also didn't have it held no weight because we knew he was coming back, and we knew exactly what was going to happen. As soon as they showed Darkseid in the trailer. I mean, not Darkseid. What about the Cyborg?
No, Doomsday in the trailer was like, oh, so they're gonna kill Superman. That's literally the only reason Doomsday is around is to kill Superman.
Also, I'm slightly offended that I don't know if you watched the show or not, but the show Krypton, it's actually quite decent to be honest. I don't want to spoil it.
Go ahead.
I don't think you're gonna watch it. And spoiler alert for those of you guys who haven't finished it. But
it's no spoiler warning. Keep watching.
At the end of season 1. They showed Doomsday like breaking out of the capsule that he was in because he's a Kryptonian. I'm salty as fuck that they're probably gonna do Doomsday way better on a fucking TV show with the medium budget than they're gonna do on the movies. I'm telling you. If say what you want about the storyline, but if you see what he looks like, you're gonna be offended too. You're gonna be like, really, we got that versus what we're getting on TV. Don't look at me like that. I'm serious. Just look at what he looks like. I'm not saying stop looking at me like that. But I'm not saying like say what you want about the storyline, the TV show, whatever. But the way that he looks and the way that they're probably going to do him, yeah, he's gonna look. He looks just like Doomsday should look. Dude, stop looking at me like that. It's literally like you paused, press play. I can't believe you held your face that long.
It's just oh my god.
No, but I'm just saying like. Just the characterization and the way that Doomsday looks on fucking TV.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it should say something. But also, like I said, I think that, DC just has to realize what they have, and you also have a company that you don't have to do family-friendly movies the way that Disney does.
Yeah,
which is why I'm like, I don't know how the fuck they're gonna handle. Wolverine and those other X-Men characters because those X-Men characters aren't particularly happy and friendly.
Yeah.
And they're my favorite Marvel property. So.
Well, they made Iron Man being an alcoholic. I mean.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Whatever. But shout out to Captain America because let's be honest, he's probably gonna be dead at the end of Avengers 4, and if he doesn't die, he's probably just gonna fade into the sun.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of the whole thing. He's white, a white male. He's not gonna be. They're getting rid of all white males.
And just going for women.
It's gonna be women. Let me rephrase. It's not gonna be strong white males. It's gonna be nerdy white males, women. Hopefully, some black folks in there. And
so you want for Marvel or just period?
For Marvel, for sure. But period's probably gonna happen pretty soon. Not that I'm complaining, because I'm not a white male, but it's just.
I mean, as a woman, I'm happy that we're getting like Wonder Woman's and fuck Captain Marvel, but we're getting.
We're getting Captain Marvel.
And we're getting Supergirl and even to some degree Harley Quinn, but like. I also want to see, just as much as we have strong female-led movies, we need to make sure that we are doing right by our men. And this is like a whole political thing, but I think it's important to show strong men on TV as well. They don't have to be. Yeah. They don't have to be like. You don't have to be soft and pink. Like, I mean, some of them can be like Black Panther. Let's be honest. T'Challa was very soft and he was very like mild-mannered. And he was a nice guy. But he was still very capable, still very strong. He wasn't about to just let anybody talk to him. But
well, that's one of my complaints about Black Panther is that they did not play the character all the way up because he's in the comics. He's just as smart as Tony Stark, but they made his sister smarter than him, and he can go hand in hand with Captain America. And if you watch Black Panther, he got his ass whooped twice when they took the heart-shaped herb away from him, and Baku gave him the problems, and Killmonger killed him. So it's just. That's like one thing that I had an issue with, but continue.
But what I'm saying is, it's just like, don't de-masculine or de-power one in order to make
empower somebody else. Yeah, I mean, so honestly, I think that makes the most sense because you can't have a strong woman without a strong man for her to overcome in the sense of like, if that didn't come out right. So
I think I know what you mean.
If we make all the women strong and the men weak, it makes it seem like. I can't put what I'm trying to say in words. It's like if we want to show that women can be strong, we don't want to show that they're beating weak men. Like, we've had all these years of having strong men and having a weak woman. Now the time that we get a strong woman, they're going up against a soft man, and we don't want to see that. We want to see them equally as powerful. I mean, because that's what we really want. We want equality. We can't have true equality if you're taking one away from the other. Like,
right.
so,
Yeah.
if you want to have their physical, then we can't have a physical equal because people will freak the fuck out seeing a man hit a woman. Speaking of Nicki Minaj, you're a woman. You're an abuser, and you need to be behind bars for stabbing Safari. But you don't want to see a man and a woman like fighting because of obvious overtones. But for the sake of conversation, you want them to be equally as smart, equally as capable. There you go. Because now, by making the men look weaker, you have years and years of women trying to break through, and they finally break through, but it's because it's now the optics are that it's because the men are weak or weaker, and I don't want that because
you're still a man and you want to see representation for yourself as well.
Of course, but I was going to say, all these years, women have been playing a background, not due to the fact that they're weaker, it's just due to the fact that they haven't had an opportunity.
Right.
And
I think that's why, since we're talking about comic books in this podcast, I think that's why Wonder Woman was so popular.
Yeah.
I mean, her character itself has been around for like 75 years.
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, more than that, but I think that's why the movie was so popular because you had someone like Steve Trevor, who clearly is not on the same level as her in terms of strength, or even popularity, but he was very much holding his own in that movie.
I mean, they did, and he was kind of a like almost to the like I like to use Star Wars as a good example. Like, the men in Star Wars are freaking I wouldn't consider them tough guys. And when I say Star Wars, I mean the new, not the old ones, because obviously, you got Han Solo. R.I.P. to Han Solo. And R.I.P. to that Han Solo movie, because that was just freaking nuts. But now you got freaking Kylo Ren, who I'm not scared of Kylo Ren. You're not menacing. You just throw a bitch fit every time you don't have your way.
And that sucks.
Not Finn and Poe. Poe's not right. Finn and Poe.
I was
like, Poe doesn't sound right, but yeah. Finn and Poe, like, Finn is freaking coward of the month, and Poe is like, I mean, you crack jokes, and you fly planes, but like, really, I think they tried, and I guess I don't want to blame her gender for this. I'm gonna try not to. Is her name Kathleen Kennedy or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't want to blame her gender for this, but I think her role in that movie, the way she made him in that movie was to be like, oh, I'm a strong man, I don't have to listen to these women. However, the plan was terrible, and if you look at it, like, he was doing what any common person, man or woman, would have done.
I mean,
if you had common sense, like, y'all aren't telling us what to do, we're gonna try and figure this out instead of just running. But you dumbasses had a plan the whole time, just refused to tell us the plan, which was dumb. So it's like they're trying to make it seem like Poe was like, oh, I'm man number one, I don't have to listen to these women folk, but no, he was just making sense.
I think that's one of many reasons why people feel like Kathleen Kennedy should be fired. But also, if you think about it, it's like, it's not, I think everyone's like, this is why women don't need to be in power. It's like, no, it's not like that. It's just women like her.
Yeah.
Because if you look, I'm going back to this again, but if you look at Patty Jenkins, who did Wonder Woman, she didn't make any of the men lesser, even though physically they were. They were on the same path. Wonder Woman would not have been able to do what she did if they weren't around to help her.
And I like what with Wonder Woman, they made, like, when she went into that room and they didn't let her in. I like that they did that, because it's just like, that's how it was for lack of a better term. I mean, it's how it is now a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, I like how they added that element in there, and it didn't make it like, oh no, we're all equal, that type of thing. It's like,
it was very fitting for the time period.
It's like, that's another thing I have with Star Wars, and I guess because it is a large galaxy, but like with the prequels and the current, in the prequels and the firstquels, the firstquels, there was two women. There was Leia and Padme, and they were related. And now all of a sudden we have women everywhere. So it's just like, what is like out of nowhere? You just making it. And it doesn't necessarily bother me in the sense that it's like oh, I don't want to see women. It just continuity state. It's just fucking me up.
That, but I saw somebody's walking through that scary.
I don't know. It's the Nun.
Right? I'm not seeing that movie. I'm not scary unless it's
I seen the trailer when the girl was following, like the nun was following her. She like turned around and the other nun cut. I was like, okay, fuck that. I'm good.
Dude, I'm not interested. But
I saw that during Sicario, in which we went to go see at night, and I was like, fuck, I don't do this.
Right? But with saying like it's like it's the nun but it's just like you said, I have no problem seeing women. Bring it on, especially as a woman. But I want to see women done right.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm nervous as fuck about Captain Marvel, because I don't know how many Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers comics you've read, but she is so
annoying.
Yes. Oh my god. And I hope it's not, because she's basically like Hal Jordan. Let's be honest, fighter pilot.
100%.
She's,
found by space people.
Right. Well, we'll see how they change her origin up, but she's clearly a fighter pilot in this movie.
Yeah.
I hope she's not gonna be like, well, I'm a woman, I can do it. Yeah. Like, I hope it's not one of those things. Yeah. I hope it's very like
basically what you're saying. You don't want them to strong arm the feminism.
Yeah. Because I was watching this YouTube video last night about people who are feminists and people who aren't feminists. And a woman was on the side that wasn't feminist, and she's like, clearly I am a woman and I agree in equality of the sexes, which is what that is. She was like, but there are certain things that are in the feminist movement that I can't agree with, that like I shouldn't be like reprimanded for not agreeing with this. And there's a woman who's on the feminist side who's like, you're a woman, you should want to be this and that. And she was like, I'm not going to do that because I was raised with certain values. Like my mom taught me how to be this. And my father and the men in my life all told me to do that. And so I feel like
just because you to sum it up, just because you feel like you need to be there, don't take away from the fact that I want to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a feminist, but it's just when you try and push your views, and this goes for anything, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, a vegan, or whatever, it's when you try and push how you feel about something and make me feel bad about how I feel about something, is when it becomes a problem. And that's basically what feminists, then we kind of stemming off from DC, but however we do rant on our channel. With feminists, their issue is, a lot of times, where to get the bad stigma from is, you try so hard to get me to tell me why I'm wrong, versus trying to tell me why, or not necessarily tell me why you're right, but like you're not necessarily making an argument for yourself. Obviously, women should be equal. Obviously, there is a pay gap, although the pay gap statistic is not 100% accurate. To break it down, they add in now, I won't get into it. I'll explain it to you off camera. But the pay gap is not as much as what they think. However, and I was going to put it out there, women in a certain segment make more than men, but whatever. But it doesn't matter. Anyway, we can probably do a whole nother podcast on dispelling the whole whatever when it comes to feminism. But it's just when you try and push that on somebody that doesn't necessarily disagree with you, doesn't necessarily think you're wrong, it pushes people out. And I hate to bring it up, but this is how we ended up with Trump as president. We've had Obama, a great president, 8 years. We've had 8 years of liberal people telling you, if you're a white person, white male, if you're a male, you're wrong. This, that, and the third, which brought the rise of these people that may not have been racist, may not have been sexist, but now, because you've been telling me I'm wrong all this time, you have now created a racist and sexist person, which they might have already been racist and sexist before, you just triggered it, you know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that happen. And I don't want to say that's the only people that voted for Trump, because feminist white women did vote for Trump, but whatever, we're not going to talk about that. But I can see why a lot of this, I can see why. So yeah, I don't know when the camera shut off or not, but I was just talking about Trump, and I hate to talk about Trump because you're not supposed to feed into trolls, and that's basically what Trump is. He trolled his way to a presidency. Trump is a troll, and literally.
Are we talking about Trump in a DC podcast?
No, and but
this happens.
I mean, we talked about what we could do to fix DC a little bit.
Now all we can do is just
pray for the best.
Pray for the best. But I mean, to be honest with you, like I said, I think, and maybe this is just me trying to be optimistic, because I really do. I really have enjoyed what we've gotten so far, except for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But even Suicide Squad, like some of the characters, like Harley Quinn, I had fun with her. But what I'm saying is that I mean, yeah, it could get worse, but like, let's put it like this: if Aquaman flops, which let's be honest, it won't.
I'm gonna say it won't. I will not say it won't.
You don't think it won't?
I hope it won't, but I will not be surprised if it does.
Alright, let's put it like this.
Put it that way.
If Aquaman flops and Shazam flops,
Shazam has a better chance of flopping.
Okay, well, let's just assume that both of these movies flop, because one comes out in December and next is April. It's a short time span. Let's just assume that both of these movies flop. We won't have to worry about DC hiring and firing. Warner Brothers, Time Warner, AT&T will cut the fuck out of that program.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because Justice League already lost them a crap ton of millions.
Yeah.
And it's not like they can't afford to root and rally afterwards. What I'm saying is that...
It's boot and rally.
What'd I say?
Root and rally?
I said boot.
No.
Whatever. But like I'm saying, we won't have to worry about hiring and firing, because Time Warner, AT&T will be like, nope.
Well, I mean, look, we should probably start wrapping it up here, because clearly Riley and Bailey, who are the unofficial mascots of this podcast, clearly have had enough of being in their kennel. So, to wrap it up, I always like to finish off on Unpopular Opinion. An Unpopular Opinion segment, which before social media started doing this, we did this first here on Antisocial Commentary. It's just basically, I feel like a lot of times when it comes to, especially with social media culture, if you don't feel a certain type of way about something, if you don't feel like how the majority feels, they're gonna try and cancel you. They're trying to get you wrong, and it's just your opinion, man. It's just like, if you have an honest opinion about something, it may be unpopular. Just let it go. I feel like you should be able to say it without having a recourse. I mean, of course you can disagree with me and we can have an argument about it, but it doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, because I don't agree with everything that you agree with, and I don't fall in line with everything you have to say. That being said, I don't know if you have an unpopular opinion. I have one, actually. It's probably going to be one of my more flagrant ones, because this is probably super unpopular.
Yeah, does it have to be comic related?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be comic related. I mean, if you want to do a comic book related one, we'd be right on brand. If you want me to go first, I don't mind.
Yeah, because I don't know if I have one.
Okay, I got one. My unpopular opinion for this podcast, our first podcast for a very long time, the Beatles are fucking trash. I am tired of 27 going on 28 years of people telling me how great the Beatles are. The Beatles suck.
I thought, because you said something at the very beginning of this podcast, I thought that you were going to be like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is not that good.
It's not. But for the sake of conversation, but the Beatles are trash. I have yet to hear a Beatles song that I liked. I hate the fucking Beatles. I like Paul McCartney with Wings. I hate the Beatles. The Beatles suck. Oh my god. I mean, and we can throw in Elvis in there, but he has a couple of ditties I like. But the Beatles, I am tired. I have tried. I have listened to quite a bit of Beatles music. I think the Beatles are probably the most overrated band in the history of music. They stole quite a bit of music, but whatever. I do not like the Beatles at all.
I'm not really a Beatles fan. There's like maybe 2 songs and I'm like, you know what? That's good.
Nope. I'm bet you there's gonna be people in the comments. What about Yellow Submarine? What about Strawberry Fields? Fuck the Beatles. I don't care. Yellow Submarine. I'll put a brown submarine on the Beatles, and that's a nice long shit. That's how I feel about the Beatles. Fuck the Beatles.
I mean, this is much later, but like, I'm a Aerosmith fan.
Okay.
We're talking in terms of like bands from a certain decade. And, well, obviously Beatles and Aerosmith way time period, but I'm personally an Aerosmith fan. They have Fire. But I mean, I'm not really a Beatles fan. Like I said, there's a few songs that I like, so I would have to agree. I will agree though, because I feel like a lot more people now are like, the Beatles are the best band to ever exist. And I'm like, y'all weren't even thought of when the British invasion happened.
Beatlemania.
Like when the Beatles came out, like the 40s, the 50s. The 60s?
Probably the 60s, I think. I think they might have started off in like the 50s, but I think Beatlemania was in the 60s.
Whatever the fuck happened, okay?
Yeah.
Michael
Look here,
Jackson
old people.
was
If
just
you're an
born,
old
so
person,
we didn't have anybody to look at.
Look, if you're an old person and you're watching this and you're like, oh my god, these young cats do not like them. Well, how you? Oh my god. I hate old people. Like, I hate when it comes to music. I fucking hate old people when it comes to music. Like, oh my god, what stuff you listen to? And it even happens in my own music community. I am a hip hop kid. Grew up on hip hop. My father liked hip hop, but my father will tell me the hip hop I like is trash. Like, nigga.
He likes Drake though.
Oh my god.
His favorite
but
song is.
Here's the thing when it comes to music. What bothers me when it comes to music is people be like, oh my god, the kids nowadays don't understand music. But you do realize that 10, 20 years ago, you were the kid that liked music that your parents thought was not music. Like this has been happening. If you track music history, I actually took history of jazz and history of music in the Western civilization in college. This is not something they expressively taught, but it is something that I picked up on my own. When it comes to music, secular music, to start off, was, oh my god, I can't believe you're listening to this jazz and this blues. That is the devil's music, because at that point in time, gospel was the only acceptable form of music. Oh my god, so jazz and blues was technically the rock stars of their time, because they were the rebellious music. And you can track that through that time, because blues and jazz then became rock and roll, and the rock and roll guys were the rebels. And rock and roll became disco or whatever. The point I'm making is, whatever you tell the next generation to like, they're gonna like the opposite of that. So, for example, I grew up on hip hop, super masculine hip hop, where it comes to we shoot up your crib, we fuck your bitch, we get money. That's the type of music I listen to. And I mean, that's a stereotypical form of hip hop, which, of course, there's obviously a lot deeper hip hop, and you still have a lot deeper hip hop today when it comes to J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, Wale's. But we're not talking about that. I'm talking about I grew up on gangster rap, so it was like we shoot up your crib, we fuck your wife, we give you money, we got nice cars, nice things. That's stuff. That's what I grew up on. But now these kids we wear purses, we wear dresses, we do different things, we sing. But
you say the same sentence over and over for 3 minutes.
So that's the thing. It's just like whatever you like as a kid or growing up, your kids and the kids in that generation are probably not going to like that same thing. You have to realize the more you try and tell somebody that they shouldn't do something, they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So to me, when it comes to I can only speak for the hip hop community. We don't embrace our young kids as much as we tell them, oh, your music you're making is trash. When, honestly, 10, 15 years ago, your parents were telling you the music that you make was trash. And so I just think it's funny that we're in the Lil Pumps and Lil Uzi Verts and whatever have you. 15 years from now, we're gonna be calling them legends, and they're gonna be talking about how their kids make trash rap, and it's just history gonna repeat itself over and over again.
Well, I'm not a hip hop person. Like, I listen to hip hop, but like I'm not really a hip hop person.
The Beatles are trash.
I listen to like I obviously I like my rock music. I like alternative stuff. I like indie stuff. I like a pop song. Not really, because a black dude created that shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
But
we're not gonna talk about that.
But I like a certain kind of music. But I mean, every now and then I'll put on my, as Chris will call it, the God feature.
Future the God.
If I feel any kind of way. As far as my popular opinion, are you done with your opinions?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with my opinion as far as the
I thought I had one, but then you started talking about Beatles, and I was like, well, my popular opinion is back to comics.
Yeah, do your comic.
Well, I'm not gonna say he's the best Robin, because let's be honest, he's not. But I think people.
The Beatles are garbage, Tori.
I think that people really like. I'm a huge Damian Wayne fan. I'm not going out of my way to say that he's the best Robin, because he's not. Clearly Dick Grayson is the best Robin. But I still think, that Damian Wayne is he may not be a good Robin, but he's still a good character.
He's a bad person.
Let me put it like this: if you grew up the way that Damian Wayne did,
yeah,
you know, from the time that he was born to the time that he got to Batman, which he was probably like 10 or so, you know, he was trained to be a bloodthirsty assassin by his mom, who didn't really like him. She just wanted him because of reasons. And his grandfather, who was like, you know, you're going to take my place someday. Like, his dad was like, I don't want Talia to take my place because she's a woman. So then we have Damian, who you're going to take my place. So I think people just give Damian Wayne a bad rap because he's like, he's just spoiled like
piece of
an
shit.
asshole, like but like, in the current Nightwing comic, it was like a couple issues ago, but Damian and Dick get along really well. And I don't know if this is nerdy stuff, but like, there's an issue where Damian was like, I'm gonna become the next Batman. You don't get to do it, and Dick is like, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to do it. But Damian's whole thing was like, I don't. And then he found out that Nightwing's girlfriend might be pregnant during that time period as well. She wasn't. Spoiler alert. But he was like, I don't want you to become a father, and I don't want you to become Batman. I just want you to stay where you are and me do this thing. And Damian's whole thing was like, I just don't want to be forgotten because I was kind of conditioned to this. Yeah. And, you know, unpopular opinion, Damian Wayne is a very good character. And so fuck all of you who think that Damian Wayne is just a sloppy, like, disrespectful kid. Like, if you really pay attention, and I think that's one of the reasons, this is off topic, but I think it's one of the reasons why people really dislike Batman vs. Superman, because they just didn't pay attention to what was being told on screen. Because it's like, you have to pay attention to these kind of more obscure, a little bit more, it kind of forces you to think about certain things, and I think that Damian Wayne, amongst a slew of other characters, not just from DC, but just all over the world, and in fictional history, they kind of force you to think about different things, and force you to think about different kind of person, not just a good person or even a bad person. Damian and even Jason Todd kind of exist in this weird gray area. So that's my unpopular opinion. Like, not everything has to be you're good or you're just bad for no reason. Like, there's a reason why people who are traditionally like assholes, there's a reason why they're like that. And I'm a writer, and I'm going to school for writing. I've been doing this now for 4 years. About to get a degree, about to go on and get a master's, hopefully. So me learning about how people work in this sort of fictional space, I guess you can say, even I guess real life, it kind of forces you to really, I don't know, it kind of forces you to think about something else. And yeah, you're right, the Beatles are overrated.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, well, we appreciate your unpopular opinion, and but let's wrap it up here. Let's get up out of here. That was antisocial commentary. I hope the camera didn't die, but you know, fuck the Beatles. That's how I want to close this.